Our top stories this week. In California, Los Angeles County supervisors are finally ready to tackle the county's child protection problems, which pretty much means hiring more foster care providers so that they can house all of the kids they've been snatching. In Florida, a federal judge rules that the state's healthcare system violates several U.S. laws in regards to impoverished and disabled children. And another Florida judge rebukes the child protective industry for failing to provide psychiatric treatment for the abused and neglected kids in their care. In Nebraska, the High Court rules that the child protective industry was in contempt of court for mismanaging the care of a 12-year-old boy who has lived in more than a dozen different foster homes. In New York, a new law goes into effect that will require the child protective industry to screen potential foster care providers and prevent poor quality care. In Nevada, the state neglects to seek educational reimbursements for 3 juvenile detention facilities that could have saved the state $632,000 every year. And in England, the child protective industry is crying about a major shortage of social workers for their child snatching operations. In Massachusetts, a 40-page report finds that there were 538 supported allegations of child abuse and neglect in out-of-home settings such as foster homes, daycares, and schools. In Connecticut, the child protective industry forces a 17-year-old to undergo chemotherapy against her wishes. And in Illinois, a father is hoping for his family to be reunited after a new law allows children with certain health conditions into the state's medical marijuana program. In Alberta, Canada, the land where child welfare deaths are no longer going to be kept secret, a couple of real parents are upset over the lack of information they're getting in regards to the death of their baby in foster care. And in Oklahoma, a former CPS supervisor pleads guilty to a felony for altering computer records after a boy's death. In Minnesota, a search warrant is executed at a home where a 6-year-old foster child died. Of course, the child protective industry is keeping quiet about the whole thing, but they do temporarily suspend the license of the foster care providers who killed her, and this marks the 18th death in Minnesota foster homes over the last 5 years. In Tennessee, a foster father was charged with raping a 12-year-old girl, and in Delaware, a CPS agent is charged with sexual extortion for getting sex from a real mom under the threat of taking her kids away. In Massachusetts, a real mom is accused of assaulting a CPS agent. In New York, a woman was charged with falsely reporting an incident of child abuse. In England, a grandmother who was jailed for hugging her grandchildren was released. And finally, tonight, there's a new outcry in Great Britain in regards to Paddington Bear that contains a digital voice recorder that could be used to spy on children and exes. For these stories and all the latest dirt on the child protective industry, visit www.legallykidnapped.com. And until next week, this is Baby LK, over and out.